believe in yourself. You know, uh, when you dance, think that you're the shit. Be the best. Uh, Believe that you're the best dancer out there. Just when you're on stage or when you're on the dance floor, believe that what you do is the best thing that can be done, and that will improve your dancing instantly. Because when you
Hey, all right. So I am now on the line. Oh, here it is. I am now on the line with a Mr. Ilias Thermos, who
what's up, everybody?
you are a dancer, an instructor, as well as a performer and a choreographer. You were born
Mhm.
and raised in Greece, and you currently live in Athens, Greece. You started dancing as a b-boy, and then you started Mambo salsa in 2008. You also trained in Milano, Italy, and you currently specialize in New York style salsa as well as Mambo. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I actually started dancing salsa around 2012. I started
Okay.
dancing in general 2008, which
Mm,
was b-boying,
okay.
and then I started dancing salsa
Hey,
after 5 years or so.
mm. And then you were telling me that I couldn't get their name. Who did you train under?
I Well, my first teacher was actually a guy from Mexico called Angel Vizcara. I started breaking around 2008, and then after about 5 years, I was doing it professional level. I was also teaching at schools and stuff like that. And after 5 years, there was this guy Angel Vizcara who wanted to make a team like a fusion style, do a show with breaking and salsa and other styles and stuff like that. So he told me, look, I'm making a team. Do you want to join? And I said, cool, let's do it. And I taught him some steps from breaking. He taught me some salsa steps. And he took me to my first congress. And then I saw Adolfo in Dagochea. And that's how I decided, well, that's what I want to do in my life. So I quit breaking the next day. I found the school that did on tour that time in Athens. That was Panagiotis School, Panagiotis Aglamisis, who's dancing with Mirto, Panagiotis and Mirto. And after that, I went to the next big school in Greece, which is Dimitris. You might know him from Dimitris and Stella. He used to be a big name back in the day. And then I wanted to get it even further and went to train with Adolfo himself. That's when I moved to Milano and trained with him for 6 months. Then went back again and became a member of his team for 4 months.
That's amazing, man. I wanna I wanna definitely get into all of that, but man, I guess I really want to start this out, man. I've never had the opportunity of visiting Greece, man. So I would love to know, man. Tell me about your childhood growing up in Greece. What was that like for you?
Well, I grew up in a small island in Greece. Let's say it has like 1,000 residents, uh, people who stay there. So I didn't have a lot of, mm, let's say, things to get inspired from. I remember I first saw dancing when some guys were trying to do breaking at the school, and they were really older than me. But I just remember picking up images and stuff like that. So I always wanted to dance, but we didn't even have a DSL connection until I was really old. So we didn't even have internet till I was like 16, 17 years old. And I was watching movies and stuff like that, and I saw, damn, I want to learn this when I grow older and stuff like that. So when I finally got out of the island to in order to study at the university in Athens, that's how I got into dancing and stuff like that. But life in the island was okay. We missed a lot of stuff. I mean, we didn't have cinemas, we didn't have stuff like that, but we used to play around a lot in the countryside. We could go by each other's house like in a couple of minutes. So I always see my friends. I always knew where they were. These are the cool stuff. But you miss out on a lot of things. Maybe you don't because you're doing other stuff, but it depends how you see it. I guess everybody misses what they didn't have the most.
No, I understand that, man. I definitely understand that, man. Tell me this, you kind of spoke on, I guess you didn't have too many, I guess, outlets. You didn't have internet, you didn't have any theaters or cinemas. I'm curious, man, how important was music growing up in your household?
Not so much. Truth is, I wasn't listening to music till I was quite old. Let's say it was maybe the internet thing again because I didn't have a lot of things to get. I couldn't listen to a lot of stuff, and my parents were listening to Greek music all the time, and I didn't like it at all. So I just skipped music totally. And when I got into it, it was when I got the stable internet connection, and I think the first album I downloaded and listened to was Linkin Park or something like that. So really, alternative rock. That's what I was listening. But when I got into breaking, I started listening to music more carefully and fell in love with funk. So I was listening a lot of James Brown and soul and stuff like that. And that's how I discovered salsa before I ever started dancing, because I found the connection with the people who started doing breaking were actually the one generation after the people who were dancing salsa back in the Bronx. So that's where I found the connection. And then when I started listening to Mambo and Latin jazz of the era, I fell in love with the music because it was so rich. But I didn't have any music background. I actually did guitar lessons for a couple of years, but I didn't actually like it. I didn't like the teacher, so I just do it because my parents told me to.
No,
I didn't actually like it.
I understand that, man. Let me ask you this: do you remember, going back to your youth? Do you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Mm, well, I thought I would do something with computers because I like programming and stuff. And that's why I came to Athens to study computer science. But no, I never thought I would be a dancer. I never thought my life would be that way. I I, I had a friend who I admired a lot. Charlie, if you hear this, that's for you. Uh, and he inspired me a lot through the years. He's still doing good. And he was a really happy guy. He was dancing all the time. He was getting all the attention. I said, damn, I want to be like him. So he was my first inspiration. Like, I would like to just be able to dance a bit when I go out in the clubs. And that's how I started.
I think that's how it starts for all of us. I definitely understand that. Um, so yeah, so you're growing up, and then you said that you go up to Athens, man. Tell me, how how was Athens different than your hometown? If I'm not mistaken, Athens is like a bigger city, right?
Yeah, it's the capital of Greece or the biggest city. It's like, I think 10 million people live here. I remember the first month I was getting lost in the city. I couldn't find my place to get back. I was actually getting a cab to get like 2 blocks because I didn't remember where my place was and stuff like that. But I got used to it pretty quickly, and it's exciting, man. At this point of my life, I wouldn't choose to go back to the island to live, but maybe later, if I want to have a family and settle down, it will be better. But here you have options. I mean, you can do everything you want. If you want to learn how to dance, you can do it. If you want to learn anything else, you can do it. You have opportunities where you have stuff to do. You don't see the same people every day. Uh, but at the same time, you can build connections as strong as you can do, let's say, in a small island or a city or whatever.
I understand that, man. I understand that. So, say you move to Athens, you're taking classes. I guess you were already introduced to b-boying, but was there a big dancing scene in Athens when you arrived?
Well, b-boying already had a scene, but it wasn't that big. But we had like 200 people already dancing at a good level, and I actually started. I went to the first school I saw, and they were doing hip hop classes, and it was just a ballet dancer doing something like hip hop. It wasn't actually hip hop classes, but because I wanted to learn so much, I actually enrolled in, I think, like 3 or 4 schools, and I was traveling all over the city to learn more. And after a year or so, I started my own crew, and that's how we trained, and we became one of the good crews in Athens. And we were doing competitions, we were teaching, we actually organized a competition ourselves. So I was an active member of the scene, and it was starting to pick it up. We were having a lot of events. People were going to events outside Greece from in Europe, some of the biggest in the world. So scene was growing up. It was going good.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Tell me this then, man. I don't know if you could put this into words, but I guess what drew you to b-boying? Why did you enjoy b-boying, b-boy dancing so much?
Hmm. I guess freedom, because you can do whatever you want. I in When I started, I like the tricks. When you do the windmills and flares and stuff, I think they were looking exciting, and all the girls were like, "Wow, you can do a backflip and stuff like that." So that's what got me into it to begin with. But I fell in love with the music. I like. I never became a really good, let's say, acrobatic dancer. I wasn't doing all the cool stuff and stuff like that, but I like the attitude that got into it, because breaking is about stealing the opponent's attitude because you dance to the battle. Okay, you have someone across you and you take turns. So you try to take the confidence of the other guy. So that actually helped me a lot when I started performing, because I already didn't have stage anxiety and stuff like that, because I knew how I was supposed to feel when I was stage. So I tried to get the energy from the crowd and take it from the opponent as well. So you're always like that, you're getting the face. So that's what's my favorite part. And I always liked when the people freestyle on the music, because when you're dancing, breaking at the battle, you don't know which song is going to come up. So you have to be able to hit the brakes and go with the music. So that was my favorite part. That's how I started listening to music more carefully. That's how I fell in love with the music.
Hmm. Let me ask you this then, man, to jump a little bit ahead. How do you think your background in b-boying, how has that influenced your salsa and your mambo skills? What influence did that have on you as a dancer now?
Besides what I said before, like I was ready for the performance. I mean, I didn't have stage fright or something like that. I'd say because b-boying is a hard dance to master. It takes like, let's say, 1 or 2 years to be able to say like, okay, I pretty much dance. And I was okay with taking the time to perfect everything. I knew that it will take a lot of work, and I did have the patience to get better. I didn't get disappointed and stuff like that. But more technically wise, I knew that I knew how to make the connection with the music pretty much easier. I knew that what I have to do and when to hit the brakes when I heard it on the song. So this stuff came naturally to me because I already worked on them. I didn't have to someone tell me, hey, when you hear a horn, you have to do something, or when the music goes slow, you have to go slow again. These stuff were just seem like natural to me.
So I guess I feel like what you're saying is that b-boying taught you musicality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So
And
it makes you.
patience. That's everything you do takes a lot of work. And if you want to master it, it takes even more work, and you have to be patient. And that's what b-boying teaches greatly, because able to do it even in a sloppy way, it takes a lot of time. So you get insensitive. You, uh, you don't really care that it's gonna take a lot of time, so you keep on doing it.
I understand that. I definitely understand that, man. So yeah, you're living in Greece. You know, you're running your little b-boy team, man. You know, you're running competitions and everything, man. Tell me how did you get introduced to Mambo or to salsa? How did that happen?
Well, we always hanged around on girls, and there were a couple of girls who were going at the salsa club. It's called Enzo de Cuba. It was one of the best clubs I've been all over the world. I mean, they had like fake Havana structures. It was like living in Cuba. It was really great. And we went at this club, and on Saturday they were playing mainstream music. So they would play something like Jump Around and stuff like that. And because there was a dance floor, we used to go there and do our stuff, b-boying. So, and we liked that everybody would gather up and cheer us up and go and do that. And we went like once every month. We went to this Latin club. So that's where I started doing some salsa and some bachata, but just for the girls at this point. I didn't really like it. I was just doing the basic and okay, let's do it. But then we started training at a dance school, which was dancing salsa as well. And that's how I met the guy I told you before, Angel. And he offered me to be a part of a team who did both. And that's how I started. And then we went on my first festival. I didn't know what a festival was, or that there were things like congresses and stuff. And we went there, and I saw Adolfo with Tanya dancing. That was back in 2013. And I said, damn, that's what I want to do. And it's like I quit it the next day. It was that fast. It's like I found my calling. I said, well, that's what I want to do.
Okay. I mean, I wanna get into all that, man. But tell me, man, this is super important. Tell me, what was your beginner stage like when you were learning Latin dances? What was that like for you?
I guess it was pretty fun because I was a quick learner, because I was already used to be working with my body, so I had some coordination. So it was exciting to do 10 patterns and get them easily and try them at the party. And I was going really quick, and since I was already dancing, I had like already proven abilities and status, and all the great dancers in Greece were looking up to me. He can do backflips and stuff like that. So I got that attention, and it actually helped me get better because everybody was giving me more attention because of that. I mean, all the great teacher was actually, let's see what you can do. If you can do this step at salsa, because they were seeing me doing stuff in b-boying. And it helped me turn to get better quicker. And I also started at the professional team right away. I never entered a student team or something like that. I went to congresses right away at the professional level. I
Okay.
wasn't good to be at the professional level, but that's how I started.
Okay, so that's actually super important, man. Um, because for myself even and a lot of the other people, we start at beginner classes and maybe transition into a professional team. So I'm curious, looking back on your past, um, how do you think you immediately joining a professional team, how do you think that affected your growth as a dancer? Can you put that into words? I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, it actually makes you take it more seriously right away. I mean, you don't see it so much as fun, but like work. You see, I have to be good because I will be on stage and I have to look good. But at the same time, you miss a lot of important stuff that I had to learn later on. And because I was already dancing a bit, it was tough to go back to the beginning and do them properly. So I'll say it depends with who you start with. If you start with a really good teacher, then it's better to take it slow and do it good. But No, actually, I would change that. I say combine it. Do stuff from the beginning and do it as a class. Learn it slowly, learn the foundation, and build from that. And push yourself with a professional team or something like that to be able to train the same thing over and over again. Because that's what makes. I'm. I like working on technique and like analyzing everything, but in the end, if you don't put the practice in it and try it again and again and again, nothing will change. I mean, let's say it's theory and practice. You have to learn the theory, but you have to practice really hard. And I've seen people who didn't actually understand what they were doing, but because they were practicing a lot, their body actually adapts to it and they got better at things they didn't actually understand, if you get what I mean.
I think I definitely agree with that, and I think if you're able to find an instructor, a credible instructor who's very good, very knowledgeable, and very good at teaching, it's kind of like like a little cheat code or a shortcut. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah. So I think that's really awesome that you were able to find a reputable teacher early on in your career, man. That's an absolute blessing, man.
What I think is a problem is people get really attached to their teachers. I mean, when you're starting out, you see your teacher like, wow, he's a god. And they don't look to other teachers. And when I started out, I tried to do classes with everybody before I ended up who I will get taught from. So when I left the team that was doing the fusion stuff, I went to Panagiotis school, then I went to Dimitri school, and I tried around to see who suits me the best, who I can learn more from. And that's how I then started to get down the basics and learn more about the dance. Because I was dancing at the team, but then I wanted to learn more, okay, and I wanted to learn good. So I shopped around to see who does it, who suits me the best to learn from.
Oh man, that's a very important point you made, man. Super super true, man. Because we all learn differently. So who I think might be a good teacher and teaches well for me might not be the same for you. So it's super important. You're all right to find a teacher that suits you. So that is a very good point, man. Super super important. You're right about that, man.
Yeah, and there is no shame to shop around. You have to do it for you. You might because your friends go to one school, you don't have to go to that school as well. Maybe when everybody's having fun, you can learn better, but maybe you're not learning there. So try another school. If you don't like it, go back to your own school. Nothing wrong with that.
Facts. So true, man. And it's possible that you'll learn something new. We all have our specialties, man. So maybe one instructor may teach something better than another instructor. So yeah, you're right, 100%. It's always a great idea to shop around. Always a great idea, man. Let me ask you this, man. So you join the performance team. You're performing and everything, man. I guess tell me this, man. What are some lessons that you learned from dancing that you're able to translate to your everyday life?
I guess the most important thing because I never really had so much confidence in me. I thought I was an average guy. I could do average stuff and things like that. And I think breaking taught me that if I put in the work, I can do everything, everything. And that I think is the best part that I got out of dancing. And it gave me confidence in everything I do because I know that maybe I'm not good now, but if I work on it, I will get better and I can be even the best at some things. But you have to put in the work and you have to enjoy what you do because when you enjoyed it, you can put even more work in it. It really ends up to that.
Facts. That's so true, bro. When you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work, and it comes easier to you, right? It comes easy because you're enjoying it, and that's what drew me to dancing as well, man. I enjoyed it, I loved it, so I kind of stuck with it. Simple as that.
But the thing is, uh, when you do something at the professional level and you want to make a living out of it, there will be times that it will become a chore. It's work again, and you have to be patient and try to reignite the passion within you, try new stuff, but it will eventually is going to happen. I mean, there is, let's say, a happy phase when everything is new and you're excited and okay, let's work, and I'm doing what I would do anyways as a job, and that's cool. But after a while, if you do it, you have to go and do it, which is really different. Like, I choose to go, but at some point you have to go, because if you don't train, you won't be as good, and you have to push yourself, and that's what makes the, let's say, people who do it as a living and people who do it as a hobby. So if you want to make it as a living, be prepared to take. This is the hard part, because when you don't have to dance, you have to dance. You don't have a choice anymore.
Real quick, I think you might have already spoke on this, man, but tell me this, man. It's probably an obvious answer, but tell me, man, what is the difference between a hobbyist dancer and a professional dancer?
Mm, I would say when you
Is
do
it
it
is
as a
it
hobby,
okay, okay, go ahead.
the most important thing is to have fun. When you do it as a job, the most important thing, some could say it's to have fun again, but you have to. mm, I don't know. It's a lot of things you have to focus on. You have to create stuff. You have to be able to teach. You have to improve your technique all the time. You have to push yourself to your limits. So it's not only about having fun anymore, and you're not going to have fun all the time. But maybe in the end, it's more rewarding, because you're actually improving yourself and you feel that you're getting better and you're improving your craft, and you don't always feel happy and fun. It's okay to feel sad and frustrated, and you can express that through dancing. And where you are doing it as a hobby, I don't know if you can do it that, let's say, not easily, but honestly, because you dance to get away from your problems and stuff like that. Some might be able to express it, even if they are sad and something like that, through dancing. But I think if it's the only thing you do, it will come out naturally. Your frustration, and when you're sad and when you're happy, and people like to see your authenticity and what you feel. That's what makes a dancer special. So I would say that it's how seriously you take everything. The difference with a hobbyist and a professional dancer. Because if you're doing it for a living, that's your life. That's what you do every day. So whatever you feel is going to come out when you're dancing.
Nah, facts, facts. I definitely understand that, man. It sounds like you're essentially saying though is pretty much just your mindset, correct? How you approach it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand that, man. I understand that. So let me ask you this, man. You kind of already brought it up, man, but you said earlier that when you are a professional, there are going to be days where you don't feel like dancing, but you have to dance. So I'm curious, man. Can you tell me for yourself in particular, what keeps you motivated? What gives you that drive to continue dancing? How do you stay, motivated?
Well, that's a tough one, especially now in this period. Uh, well, I always thought that I was doing it for the lifestyle. Like, okay, it's a nice job. I do something that I would do even if I didn't choose that as a job. So it's a win-win situation, right? I get up, I dance, I make money out of it. What's not to like? But I think I got through a lot of stages. I thought that it was the performance thing that grabbed my attention, like going out on stage and expressing what you feel and showing how you connect with the music to the people. I thought that was what I liked the most. Then it changed. I think when I started teaching more, I thought that what I get from people when they say to you, "Oh, I learned a lot from your class, and I feel really happy about it," and that's the gratification you get from this. That was really fulfilling. But now I'm not really sure what's the motivation to keep going. And I think that's okay. Everybody goes through stuff. And now with the COVID phase, that all the artists can do anything. We can connect with the people. We can do the performances and stuff like that. It's really hard for everyone. And it's okay to take your time and to really think why you're doing it. For me personally, I can't do anything else. That's what I like. I listen to music all the time. So I naturally want to move and dance. So now I need to dance, if you get me. I don't have a choice anymore. I want to get up and dance. So that's why I do it.
I understand that, man. I definitely understand that. I'm curious to know, man. Tell me this, man. I guess how has COVID-19 affected Athens, man? How are things over there?
Well, we're still in lockdown. So we have one of the toughest lockdowns I think, in the world, because the healthcare system here is not so good. So everybody's trying to be careful. And schools are closed from November. We can't do any classes. Everybody's doing some classes online, but online, I'm not going to lie, it's not the same thing. And we're just being patient till things get back to normal. So it's a bit of a downer for every dancer here in Greece, but what do you do? The world is in a crisis. We have to be patient.
I understand that, man. I definitely understand that. Um, Me personally, I don't even remember the last social I went to. It's been that long. Yes, it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
I'm kind of lucky because I'm doing the 100-day challenge. So I dance every day, but I got partners to dance with, to train with. We live close together. I got studio access, so I can actually train. So I don't miss that much dancing and stuff because I'm doing it every day. But yes, socials are like so far back. The last social I went to as well. So, but
So yeah,
I think I need more festivals and congresses. Because I haven't been to one in like a year. It feels so straight, like it was in another life.
yeah, it's facts, man. It's facts, yo. Um, let's talk about that, man, because that's originally how I found you. So you were doing I believe was it 100 turn patterns or 100 days of turn patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
New turn pattern, man. Amazing videos. Like, dude, your skills are amazing, bro.
Thank
Amazing.
you, appreciate it.
Tell me, man. I guess what sparked that idea? What brought that about?
Well, I always read a lot of books, stuff how to improve, how to change your mindset, and how to train. And I found this guy. It's called Juji Mufu. I mean, he's an Instagram personality stuff. He's a really buffed up guy that can do the splits and stuff like that. And he wrote a small book called like 360 days of training. And he would do a training session each day. And he would record his experiences. And I said, okay, that seems a good idea. Let's do it with something I can relate to. And I started doing it with science first at the first quarantine back in March. So I did 100 days of science, but it was really tough. It took me like 130 days to do it. I actually missed a lot of days. But the hard part wasn't the science themselves, but to do it every day and to record it every day to look nice. But out of it, I've got a lot of things about myself, about how hard I can push myself. And I actually think I improved a lot. So I said, okay, in this quarantine, I'm going to do the same thing, but with pattern work. And that's how I started doing it with 10 patterns. I started working on stuff I already been taught. I mean, like classes I've taken over the years, and I try to tweak them around to make them look like more like what I dance these days. And sometimes I make them my own, but I try to mix and try new stuff so I can improve. It was a self-imposed challenge, and I think people like it. It's going good.
Yeah, man, definitely, dude. I mean, I told you, but your videos are amazing, bro. You got the moves, man.
Thank you, man.
The videos are legit, bro. So definitely, man. Um, so let me ask you this, man. I'm very curious. I wanna give some advice to dancers out there, man. So tell me this, man. For someone who is a beginner and they feel like they're stuck in this rut, like they're not getting better, what advice could you give them?
It depends what you want to do, actually. If you want just to have fun, relax. Nobody's judging you. You can be a beginner and totally have fun. If you want to improve, just to improve, you have to be patient. It takes time. Do more classes, change up teachers, learn from everybody, and don't stop. When I started out, I couldn't even walk in a straight line. So it takes time. If I can do it, I think everybody can do it. And I'm not really, I know it's a cliche, everybody says this kind of stuff, but I never thought I would be here. It's all about patience and keep going. Don't really care about who's judging you. If there, I don't think there are people judging, especially people who've been into dancing for quite some time. They know how long it takes to get better. So just try to have fun, enjoy the stage, and just be patient and put the hours in. It will come eventually.
I definitely agree with that, man. I can remember my first class and my first instructor, man, and to remember myself back then and to see myself now, man. It's everything you said is 100% facts, man. If I can do it, if you can do it, anybody can do it. So that's
Yeah, yeah,
facts.
that's amazing.
Facts, yo. Um, Let me ask you this thing, kind of a follow-up question, man. For someone who is an intermediate dancer and they want to get to that advanced level, what does it take for them?
Uh, I'd say join a professional team because what happens when you're doing a performance or a show, you have to do the same thing over and over again, right? To perfect it, to be able to do it naturally. And when you do it so many times, you can actually start thinking about small details about how your elbow is, how your shoulders are, because the core movement goes natural by itself. It becomes one with your body. You don't have to remember the combination anymore, and you can focus on the stuff you have to fix to look better. I mean, let's say more in particular, if you want to improve at partner work, you have to look a lot of your feet. Especially for us guys, we don't step really precise, let's say, when we do partner work because we're focused on leading the lady. That's natural. If you want to get to look better when you're doing partner work, you have to watch where your feet goes. And when you're doing a performance, yes, at the beginning you have to do the turn pattern, and after that you have to fix your legs. And if you do it, let's say 100 times, then when you go back to the social, things are gonna be better, even if you didn't train socially. You get what I mean? So I think performance teams are the way to go for an intermediate dancer to go to the next level.
I definitely agree with that, man. I actually joined a performance team as well, man, and uh, you know, my progression definitely increased, man, because you're just. I think simply to put it, I was just practicing so much more. I think that's simple right there. I was practicing so much more, so of course I just got better. So I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
You know, uh, when I was at Adolfo's team back in Milano, uh, I was actually trying to always like learn the small details and what they were doing and uh, try to have the correct timing all the time and how he stepped his leg, how he used his elbow, how he moves his shoulder. But what I ended up figuring out that was you just have to put in the work, and some things come because you put the work. You can really I can explain them to you in let's say 10 different ways, but if you don't work and do it again and again and again and again, nothing will change in you. And you might get there and not understand how you got there because you've put in the work. I'm a really believer in the what I got through the stage when I was trying to get details out of everything, but I don't think anymore that's the correct way. You have to have balance with theory and practice, and people just stick up to theory more. Yeah, they have to understand everything before they start doing it. And what happens when you get a lot of details, you get overloaded. You can't do anything because you're thinking about the shoulder, you're thinking about the chest, you're thinking about the feet, you're thinking about the head, and you don't do shit. So you have to seek like a sculpture. You start with a big marble and you chip away a little by little. So you make a, let's say, a frame first, and then you start chiseling. How's the word in English? Away.
You're chiseling. Now you got it, bro. Real quick. So what it sounds like you're saying is that there are no shortcuts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's that might break some people's hearts out there, but I think it's the truth. I think it's the truth.
You might accept it and do the work. Do the work, because that's the only way. That's every people I talk to and who's done, let's say, great stuff in their life. They've put in the hours and the work. Yes, some people are the talents, but these are the exceptions. And usually, when people get it easily, they get bored of it easily. And eventually, you have to do the work. You can't get around it. I've seen so many people who are really natural at it, and they get everything really quick. But in order to get to the next level, you have to put in their hours, and they're not doing it, so they quit after a couple of years. So the people who stay there and keep working are the hard workers, because it will eventually come. So if you learn to train that way from the beginning, you can actually go there. And if there is a rare occasion where talent meets hard work, then you have the stars.
That's facts. That's facts, bro. Oh man, it's so true, bro. Let me ask you this, man. When I said the word musicality, what does that mean to you?
Well, I would say that's how you react to sound, to music. I mean, for me, musicality is how you connect with the song and how you express it through your movement, let's say. I can be musical without dancing. I'm just moving my hands and be on the music, and I don't know how to express it correctly. I think it's when the music makes you move, you know, and you can train that. That's how I feel. I mean, it's not something you were born with, or you have some hidden talent or something like that. You can train it by listening to music, by trying to. Well, I go back to breaking. Uh, because funk is really repetitive as a music. We have like a bar that continues repeating over and over. And what makes funk is the one. On the one, every song in the funk that's make an accent, either it's a horn or a snare or something like that. So when we were dancing, we all had in the back of our heads the one. I have to do a freeze. I have to do something. So sometimes it was like two counts. They were pa pa. So I had to think of combos of two freezes. Bam bam. So I had like 3 or 4 combinations of two, let's say, two accent moves. So that's the way to transfer that to salsa. Let's say you know the music comes one break, bam or something long. I have to prepare moves for that. And as you try it out in social, you can actually uh, freestyle with them. And then it looks natural, and they, he's listening a lot to music, but you actually train yourself to be able to hit music correctly. And after a point, that comes, let's say, like an instinct. So you can do it like that.
Um, when you say becomes an instinct, what I hear is that you start to recognize the pattern in the music. So you listen to enough songs, you start to recognize the pattern, and then you're able to anticipate what comes next.
But that is correct. You have to listen to a lot of music. That's a given. Maybe that's a given for me, but you have to listen to a lot of music. And yes, music becomes, what's the correct word? You can know what's going to
Recall
be.
or remember what you're trying to say.
You can not prevent. Forget the word. Like you can predict
Oh,
what
okay.
comes because you listen to so many songs, and song structure is quite the same in many songs. So if you listen to music in general, I mean, you can predict a lot of patterns that sounds as well.
Facts. No, that's true, man. That's very true, bro. And so I guess that kind of answers my question or my next question. How does one improve their musicality? And is it as simple as just continuing to listen to that music genre?
I You have to continue to listen to music, yes, but you have to, like I said before, make small, let's say, routines that you can use to every song. I mean, if you have a cha 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 cha, you can do like 2 or 3 moves that can accent that kind of rhythm, and you can try to freestyle it between songs. And that's how you build your repertoire, and then you can use it at a lot of different songs once you get the feeling of music, you know? Because you might understand the music but only have one move. Then you always do the same stuff. You see, so you have to train both your body and your ear to know what comes next, but you have to be able to hit, to do something on it. And if you don't train, if you can do it like, because most people learn like a routine, like let's say a turn pattern, and do it like the same way at the social, the same way at the show, and you see the same move all over again. You have to be able to break down moves and make them your own, which comes at, let's say, the next level.
Definitely, I understand that, man. I definitely do. Let me ask you this, man, real quick. Well, it's probably my last question for you, man. Can you tell me one tip that can make anyone a better dancer immediately?
I saw that you do that to everybody. You asked this question. So I was prepared. I think believe in yourself. You know, uh, when you dance, think that you're the shit. Be the best. Uh, Believe that you're the best dancer out there. Just when you're on stage or when you're on the dance floor, believe that what you do is the best thing that can be done, and that will improve your dancing instantly. Because when you see someone dancing, you look at his face mostly. You don't look what he does. You look at his face, and if you believe in yourself, you will look naturally cool and confident and stuff like that. And that goes for both ladies and guys. So just believe in yourself. And when you train, look in the mirror and look at your face. Try to. I did a workshop with Jessica Quiles, and she's a soloist, ladies. And she looked like, try to make love to yourself when you see yourself in the mirror. You have to look like that. And that's actually really helpful because you believe what you do. And if you believe, other people are going to believe it as well. So I would say practice a lot and believe in what you do. Believe it like it's the best thing in the world.
Okay, man. So I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. That sounds like super generic advice. Believe in yourself. And so what I'm hearing is instead, be confident, right? Correct. So my
Yeah, but
question is,
confidence comes.
so
People,
my question is, how does one become confident?
yeah, that's what where I was going to end up with. Confidence comes back when you get, you know, when you get the confirmation that what you're doing is correct, right? So if you start believing at yourself, you actually make people admire you and look at you like that. So then you become even more confident. But you have to fake it to begin with in order to start feeling it. And you are going to start feeling it if you fake it in a bit. There's no shame in that. You have to fake like, wow, I'm feeling it, and then it will come natural because people are gonna to be attracted to you in a way like you're dancing. Yeah?
No, sure enough. I understand that, bro.
So it might sound a bit like theoretically, but I think that it has practical effect as well. I mean, if you start to believe it, it will come back to you eventually.
Sure enough, sure enough. I definitely understand that, man. At this point, Mr. Ilias, man, I really just want to thank you, man, for taking time actually to talk to me, man.
Thank you for having me at your show.
Of course, man. So I mean, I know times are kind of crazy right now, but do you have any upcoming events, anything that you want to plug that you want to share with the people?
Well, not not any event is happening anytime soon, at least here in Greece. But I still have my online classes. If you want to follow me up on Instagram, I put all my new classes and stuff into there. Just follow Ilias_Thermos, and you'll find everything you need there.
That leads me to like my next question. Yeah, Ilias Thermos. That's for Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Perfect, perfect, man. When I post this, man, I'll make sure I put all your contact information in the details. I got you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, big bro, man. Real quick, Ilias, before we close this out, man, is there any last words that you'd like to share with the people before we end this episode?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me at the show again. It's really an honor. I I don't know. Try to stay creative at this time. I guess every artist gets, it's really tough for them. I can feel what they're going through, and try to stay creative. Try to keep dancing because eventually we will come back, and let's be ready. That's how I feel about the whole thing.
Hey, perfect, man. Perfect, man. I really hope we do come back. I really do. But I think that is a great way to wrap up this episode of the Two Left Feet podcast, man. Ilias, thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you for having me again.
No doubt, big bro. Take it easy, Ilias. All right, man. That's all it is. Hey everyone, if you made it this far all to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much. My overall goal with making these interviews and these episodes is to give a voice to dancers, to give them a platform to speak their story. So if this is of value to anyone, then that means the world to me. My overall goal is to give value to the dance community. So, if you find no value in this, then I urge you to please let me know where I can improve on. I truly want to, just give value and content to the dance community. So please let me know how I can improve, where I'm messing up, because to be 100% honest with you, I'm learning along the way as I do this. I truly am. So to be able to interact with the dance community, it means the world to me because it gives me feedback and it lets me know what I'm doing right, where I can improve upon, what I'm doing wrong, which I feel like might maybe more important. So please, if you all could comment and just let me know what you think, it means the world to me because that feedback just helps me improve. So please comment as well. Please like and subscribe. That means a lot as well. But I want to say thank you so much for just watching this because it means the world to me. I want to take you on this journey of the Two Left Feet podcast. I'm very excited for it. So once again, thank you so much.